Okay, guys, here we go. A little bit earlier today, we're waiting for our dear brother Wayne to finish his awesome show. As always, Wayne's usually our Wayne Steiger on noon Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. I think he does do it Monday through Friday, typically.
He does. And there is Martine. Awesome. Good to see you. Integration is a nightmare and just got approved. Okay. Hi, everybody. Well, hello there, Robbie. Good to see you. Ron Simpson, Miss Tori. Good to see you guys. Lily, Catch Many. Jen and the birds. I don't know if you got that message. That was a bluebird, Jen. I was happy to see there was a bluebird down there. Miss Diana, hello, hello, hello. It's a glitchy existence these days for sure. Yes, I agree. Um, Thanks you guys for joining us. When people get in here a little bit more, we have some news. We need a miracle. We have some things going on. I just wanted to have enough people. We're probably going to mention it before and mention it in prayer after with what's going on. Miss Xenomorphet, good to see you. Valdon.
Elantra.
Miss Elantra, good to see you. I didn't see you. I'm just listening to Mike. Oh, there you are down at the bottom. Hello, Will. Hello. All right. Exile, good to see you. Scott, awesome.
Yeah, Martine is talking on something that we could talk about first. Let's go over here. Here we see Derek Evans, who's a former member of the West Virginia House. He says, originally I thought it was hidden in the bill, and most who voted for it didn't know it was there. Now they're made aware that it's there. They have the opportunity to remove it, and they refuse. So the U.S. House rejects bid to remove U.S.-Israel military integration from the defense bill. 33 seconds long. Let's listen to this.
Okay, it was bad enough when we thought that they just snuck it in there. Maybe the people who voted for it didn't know it was in there because of these, 1,000-page bills or whatever, hundreds of pages. But now they know it's in there. Now they've been given an opportunity to remove it, and they're refusing to do so. So they are now telling you point blank, in black and white, with their actions, that this was exactly what they were intending to do, that they know that this is happening, and they want this to happen. I don't know about you guys. I'm not a fan of this. I'm just not. This is not okay. What do you guys think? Okay, it was bad enough.
Yeah, I think it's horrible. I think it just shows you're not going to fix this system with just one or two votes. It's impossible. It's so corrupted that it needs to be completely changed. And I do think that they know we'll realize that, and we'll force them to do that at some point in time. And it may be that I suspect they have things in place for that too. So this right here, Mike Levin says it's so insanely corrupt, I can't believe it. More than half the donors to Trump's $400 million White House ballroom just won over $50 billion in new federal contracts within 6 months. Here's the part that should make your blood boil. 16 of the 27 donors were facing federal enforcement actions, antitrust reviews, labor cases, security charges. Many of the cases have been quietly dropped or scaled back since Trump took office. You write a check, your legal problems disappear. It's not a coincidence. The White House won't even release their full donor list. They're hiding it on purpose because daylight is the one thing pay to play can't survive. A federal judge already sued ballroom construction and that it has to stop until Congress authorizes it. The government's supposed to serve the people, not auction itself off to the highest bidder. When access goes to whoever pays the most, working families end up paying the price. Either we end the corruption or it will end us. Yeah, that is a perfect example of what's going on. And as we said, you had the Obama cartel in. Now we have the Trump cartel. They're cartels. They are literally cartels. All these entities, they are all corrupt. listen to just a few moments of this right here. This is, again, about what we were talking about, the integration of Israel and the U.S., their militaries.
We'll now consider log number 6827 by Mr. Khanna of California. For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition? Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk. Will clerk distribute the amendment without objection? Reading the amendments dispensed with. The chair recognizes the gentleman for the purpose of explaining his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the American people are tired of the arrogance and insolence of Prime Minister Netanyahu telling America what we should do. The entire country of Israel has a GDP that is less than a single town in my district. Yet somehow Netanyahu thinks he can tell the American people what we should do. The person who's most upset with him right now is President Donald Trump. And everyone in America, whether you're a Republican, an independent, or a Democrat, says that we need to tell Netanyahu that America calls the shots, not the Prime Minister of any other country.
And now we're basically allowing him full access to our military, which has already been his. This is just really part of what's being exposed. So Ro Khanna, in case you missed it, is supposed to be carrying the torch that Thomas Massie, who lost his election because of, well, was it interference? It certainly was a lot of money to get Thomas Massie out of his position in Kentucky because he was apparently irritating 47's base and 47 himself. So, this is it just shows us that we are so corrupt. It truly, truly is beyond, it's beyond saving, and how are we going to deal with this without falling into some sort of civil conflict?
All right, it's
Mario.
that. Thank you so much, Mario. We definitely appreciate that. This is, these times are just incredible. At the same time, so very mundane and predictable, because of course this is what they're going to do, and plus the gaslighting. Not to mention the gaslighting. Oh well, giving these people, beings, lizards, the benefit of the doubt is just, at this point, is insane, because what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. They're never going to change. Even this guy that's calling it out, even him. He's just reading off of a cue card. They are all involved because they're all getting something for it. And that's what they want. They just want their own cushion. And they know if they just simply do as they're told, they're going to be taken care of. So, it's nauseating, repulsive, all the things, but what do we do? It's so frustrating. One thing we don't do is we don't allow our hearts and souls into this mess and allow that loosh to be gotten by other entities. There is a way we can handle this and look at this without becoming attached and without becoming a meal for some entity.
I saw this, and I forgot to pull it up until just a moment ago. The U.S. and Russia are signing a deal to build a tunnel connecting Alaska and Russia. The Trump-Putin tunnel would run beneath the Bering Strait, cost $8 billion. And meanwhile, the EU's share of global economy has dropped from 30% to 17%. So what's really going on here? Are these all just simply, are governments truly nothing other than cartels? And, they make their own deals with each other to always just benefit them and the people that have, bribed them. Just pretty simply.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's that, it's all bribery all the way. What is going to become of us? I don't know what's going to become of us. I think we just have to stick to our guns and keep moving forward and not let the distractions pull us down into a field of anger and frustration. I really think they want the frequency to be low. I really do. I think we're we're coming up on something in this world that it's important for our frequency to be as high and as stable as possible. I think that's going to matter in the upcoming split. And all of these things, if they are not deliberate, what are they? I think that's a fair question. If it's not deliberately out there just to lower our frequency, what is it? There's nothing there's no sense in it. There's no common sense in this at all.
So, I wanted to share this. They're literally looking at making a tunnel connecting Russia and Alaska. So Russia and the U.S. would have a border that could be crossed in a tunnel. If really the situation on planet Earth is as they give it to us, some things just don't make sense. Like here we are, you have the Ukrainian war with Russia, and we have obviously in the Middle East, Iran and Iraq, but there's certain things that are still moving forward, such as global surveillance. It's, irregardless of whoever's in charge of where, Big Brother's growing, and always growing, forever growing. So while we're here, let's just jump over. Right now, relatively quiet. We have 3 5.3s out there. And, this one is over relatively close to Indonesia over there. We have one in the Philippines, 5.3, and the Pacific Antarctic Ridge. I would expect a pretty good sized quake probably within the next 48 to 72. Maybe not mammoth, but maybe something of the lines of a 7.0. I did also want to touch on, we did here, and this is Heart's Home. This is our newest channel. It's still a couple years old. We did a little urgent June wisdom update. We need a little wisdom in this month. Absolutely. From the Council of Nine. This is the Council of Nine. These are the chickens that we raised from eggs. We had them in the incubator for like 3 weeks. We got them from our own Dr. Renee, and they've been a blessing to us. So we just wanted to share a little chicken coop update with you guys. And then a much more serious matter. So you might recognize the beautiful lady to the right. That is Trina. Trina is a regular with Wayne, our Wayne Steiger, on Tuesdays. And also with Jenny I believe she's from the UK. This is Trina's daughter. We're asking for prayers. She has a very, very serious health situation that has developed. And, the doctors are saying it's going to take a miracle. So let's make a miracle happen.
Yeah, so important. So this is a very, very, very dire, serious situation. So we really need you guys'. I know we have some serious prayer warriors out there, and every single one of you guys, you wouldn't be here unless you had some type of special light to give. So please, whatever you can, send out love and energy to both of these beautiful women. They're very, very bright lights. And this is so rare. I mean, this is so extremely rare. This is really strange what's going on. We'll keep giving updates as we get them. But this is a dire situation. And she's on life support right now in a coma. So we really need to do all we can.
Again, give her name again.
Yes. This is Grace. Grace with Trina. And you guys know Trina from Wayne's show on Tuesdays. And so please, let's give this all we got. Let's make a miracle. We'll keep you updated as we are getting updated. We send our heartfelt not condolences. She's still here. So let's just keep her here and make a miracle happen. This is just really rare, and it's very odd and unfortunate. But yeah, it's as much prayer as we can.
Yes, absolutely. So we send our positive intentions for complete healing. May Grace be completely restored to perfect, abundant health. So we just take a moment to just visualize her surrounded by the purest white light. and see her health being restored. And send your love and all your compassion her way, and Trina's way, and the family's way. We thank you guys so much for all your prayers.
Yes, we wanted to do this when the room was full because it's so very important. And at the end, when we do dings, we'll mention prayers and names again for everyone else that we have. So she will be on our prayer wall that we'll be posting once a week over on EEARTS.
It is the time of miracles. This is really, truly the time of miracles. As you know, the darkness of the system feels like it's growing darker by the moment. At the same time, the light on the planet is expanding. And I truly, truly believe that we can achieve much more than they've ever told us. They don't want us knowing what we're capable of. Miracles will become common in every day. And you're going to see a lot of amazing healings. So may it start here with Grace at this point in time.
Thank you, you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for everything. You know, it just made me want to reiterate a 10,000% rise in alpha-gal syndrome demands immediate FBI investigation for possible bioterrorism. Because I can't see it being anything but bioterrorism. How could you think that it could be anything but bioterrorism? And we know that there is such a thing as genetically modified ticks and mosquitoes and many other things. It seems like there are some people that want to genetically modify the entire planet. It just feels like complete madness to us because we live on the planet and because we're here in the middle of all this. You have these billionaires that are spending so much money for certain technologies that it should make you suspicious. And then we have declassified documents that talk about the fact that the U.S. Army literally released 270,000 ticks into the wild that were irradiated for bioweapon research. That's just a fact. It's just a simple fact. It's insanity, but this is where we are. Now we have a flesh-eating screwworm found in Texas cattle. It can affect humans too. So, again, is our food supply safe? I would say no. It's not safe. And we haven't been safe, even though we might have had faith and trust in people and systems and organizations that we never should have.
Right. So with the screwworm, it's affecting the cattle. So it's spreading across. So watch your pets, and this can affect dogs, cats, whatever. If your animal, if your pet, if this gets close to your area, just watch for sores. You want to watch for open wounds and how those flies get on there and get in the open wounds, because that's how, of course, they lay the eggs. Now, they had this before, and what they did before is they had these factories where they bred the sterile male flies, and then that got rid of the problem. But guess what? Just not too long ago, they destroyed all those factories that had the ability to breed these flies to eradicate it once again. So I mean, isn't that just kind of weird that keeps happening? But do keep an eye on your pets this summer with the bald spots and anything else. And I've heard that fleas are really, really bad, as well as the ticks. And this is just a summer of pestilence. It's pretty bad. And it's because we are out of balance. And, we are doing our best as humans to be in balance. And all we can do is hunker down and keep doing it, because eventually that frequency of balance will catch on. Just don't lose hope. Keep going.
Yeah. And I saw I saw out there Diana is fasting now, and that's one of the things that we do. We fast on a regular basis because you can literally reset your immune system, and it doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost you anything but a little hunger pain. So I think it's just an obvious first step. Be very, very careful of everything you eat. I mean, you can't trust anything. And so, again, when we're looking at products, we typically shoot to the stores that we trust the most. Even if it costs more, we'll buy less of it, as opposed to buying more of something that we already know is more toxic. So this was the first U.S. case since 1966. A 3-week-old calf, again, larva in a living room wound. It's just horrible. Parasites. It's parasites. This is the world of parasites. And this one over here is a 5th-generation cattle rancher talking about the stuff that they had to put into their livestock. 525 hogs got a certain substance in 21 days. 25 died outright. 25 died. 5% died outright. 55% or 55 became anorexic and near death. So that's more than 10%. 20 of them suffered lameness. It's just what we've been sold. Just obviously it does like the opposite of what we've been sold. And I go back to mad cow. You remember that disease which caught everybody's attention, bovine spongiform encephalitis. So it got everybody's attention, but now we have so many other things going on that we don't even really think about it so much. There's dementia out there, which is rampant. We lost one of our good friends to dementia that they didn't really determine if it was Parkinson's or Lou Gehrig's, but either way, it did cost him his life. There's so many things out there that are obviously, they're not being eradicated. It seems like they're being made worse, more intense, more intensified, made more lethal.
And the problem is the terrain, our bodies and the terrain in general is feeding these diseases, and everything that's really wrong right now has the terrain to feed itself and grow, and that's a problem. And it really does zero right back onto us and how we have to keep pulling ourselves into balance. And for every wrong thing we see, we need to be doing 10 better things to correct that, because whether we like it or not, the universe outside of us is part of us, and it's part of our responsibility to pull it back in and bring back the balance. And the only control we have is over ourselves and bringing ourselves into perfect balance, perfect harmony. And that helps. That matters. I think a lot of people sometimes are under the illusion that, just my little tiny grain of salt out there doesn't really help anything. Oh, but it does. But it definitely does. Think about it this way. One candle can light 1,000 candles. And you are that one candle. You have power. And then imagine how many those candles, the same. One lit candle can light another 1,000 candles. Just keep thinking of it that way.
Yeah, and there's new variants. There's all new things that are going on at the same time. And it's just, we are getting blasted from every angle right now. It's like humanity doesn't realize, most humans don't realize, war has more than been declared on them. It's just, nobody will tell you that war has been declared on humanity, but it has. And we understand that there is a correlation between who you trust and how well your health is going to be managed to a large degree. The increasing problems with dementia, Alzheimer's, autism, it just goes on and on. Oh, okay, so the newest reading right now on the KP index is up over 6. So yes, we have gone from minor into moderate storm, a geomagnetic storm right now. this is something that affects everybody a little differently. We knew it was going to be hitting us. We'll have to see how high we get. They have called for a G3, so we'll see if we get up to that level, as we did have multiple CMEs come. At some point in time, I do think that the sun will release a burst that will probably fry all the technology on Earth and reboot us back to the Stone Age. In some ways, I don't think it could come soon enough, although it does mean it's going to be a new world for us.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some kind of a split. I think the split really has been ongoing. I think the confusion comes from people thinking that we haven't split, but we have. Whereas, you can line 10 people up and show them the same picture, and you might get 10 different versions of the very same picture. That is perception. That's a split. But imagine that on a much higher scale, where we see things way more different than the other people. Maybe it's just a little bit different now, but it could be vastly different, in a couple of weeks. And pretty soon you see things so differently, like you have to split. You have to step away. And it's that taking responsibility of yourself and knowing yourself and who you are and your reactions to things. All of that adds up, and then you're starting to help co-create your own world with more people who might have a similar perception as you.
Yeah, absolutely. And please do, guys, like, subscribe, share, hype when you're able to. I believe we each get 3 hypes a week. We do appreciate it, helping to get past the algorithm blocks. Okay, so this is what I was first intending to talk about. All the rest of that has been popping up in the meantime, and there's so much to cover. Russian media published an audio from the emergency aboard the International Space Station. NASA says astronauts were ordered to move into their spacecraft and prepare for possible evacuation after an air leak in the Russian segment worsened. In the audio, ground control can be heard instructing the crew to execute emergency procedure EMER 3.4 Step 5 and begin deconfiguring, including opening hatches and reporting status after each one. There are currently 7 people on the ISS, 3 Russians, 3 Americans, and a French astronaut. So this is the recording of what came through. I haven't listened to it yet, but let's see.
We are comfortable backing out of the safe haven config, and we would like you to execute EMER 3.4 Step 5 to deconfigure. In Step 5.2.4, where you equalize, we do expect there will be a short time period for equalization, and we're working the number on that for you now. Once you're done, we'll assess where we're at timeline-wise and determine the path for the rest of the day.
Okay, we copy. So we will pick up in Step 5, meaning we will open all the hatches. We won't have help from our counterparts.
Affirm.
So obviously some sort of emergency ongoing, which automatically, takes me to the Hopi prophecy. The Hopi prophecy regarding the house in the sky. It's identified in modern interpretations as being the International Space Station, or perhaps, Mir. Some people had thought Mir was the Russian space station that was up there for a long time. Elders stated that when humans live in the sky on a permanent basis, it signals that the Great Spirit is about to shake the earth a 3rd time. Well, that is something that's talked about in the Hopi tablets as well. There are certain prerequisites to a great reset by the Anunnaki in the Hopi tablets. And one of the things is when humans are ready to be able to move out to other planets. Now, I do believe that humans are literally on Mars under the surface right now, working with greys, working with reptilian entities. But at the same time, we're talking about the society understanding that we are about to expand. Because, why didn't we go back to the moon if we really ever went to the moon in the first place? It's not because the technology doesn't exist. It's simply because we're not allowed to. Because a more powerful, more advanced civilization is really controlling all the cards. And they're keeping us from obtaining certain things. In the Sumerian tablets, they also talk about certain population numbers. Like once you get to about that 8 billion figure, then a reset could happen, could be triggered again by the Anunnaki controllers. So obviously we're past that. It's all basically things that are in place, and one of them, is key. It's when people realize that the real controllers are not human. They're not other Homo sapiens. Well, we have Disclosure coming out. We literally have the movie a week from today coming out, the Spielberg movie everybody's so interested in seeing. We have obvious disclosure that has been ordered by the governments. So it means we're in for either another great reset or we escape their grasp. And that's the thing. It's both are possible. Even in the Sumerian tablets, they talk about if humans wake up enough and lift their frequency high enough, they just might rise up and out of the ability of the system to control them. And that's our hope. With bringing all these things forward, we're always trying to hope to spread the knowledge and the understanding that it really is always about our frequency being prime importance.
Oh yeah, frequency is so important, because when you change your frequency, if thinking of an example, like what does that mean and how do you know that your frequency has changed? Have you ever maybe been friends with someone for a very, very, very long time, and then some things happen, and whether it be they do something and maybe that friendship is now cracked or it's broken in a way that you just can't tolerate anymore, or it can be so very simple, like you just don't want to connect with certain people anymore. And all of those are signs that your frequency has changed from theirs. You have shifted. So your energy is singing a different song and it's looking for other things to be compatible with. And, this can bring you into a whole nother world. It can have you make decisions that are going to send you in a different direction, separating you further and further from the other world that you used to live in. So this is what it's going to look very natural. I guess that's what I'm saying. When frequency changes happen and splits occur, they look very natural. But that natural is the sign that there's a frequency change, because that's what we have to go by in this realm.
So key details associated with this prophecy include the third shaking. This event described as decisive and catastrophic occurs shortly after the house in the sky is established. Consequences: the prophecy suggests that those responsible for dropping the gourd of ashes, which is interpreted as the only country that has used the atomic bomb, that's the U.S., will face retribution during this purification. The Hopi prophecy does say the United States is attacked massively from the older nations that first received the light, is how it reads, which would be interpreted as nations like China, India, some of the Middle Eastern countries. Again, the BRICS nations and many of their allies is what clearly comes into mind. Despite the destruction, the prophecy asserts that humanity will survive, leading into a new era where native peoples are invited to join a global circle of peace and wisdom, warriors of the rainbow. Context: the sign is often grouped with other predicted indicators like talking cobwebs, the internet, etc., climate disruption, and the appearance of blue star Kachina. Some have thought, the blue star Kachina could have been 3-eye Atlas. Again, interstellar visitor coming in. And then we have Apophis coming in 2029, which, energetically, we both feel it is a ship, and there are reptilian beings on there. I do think its job is to come and assess the situation here on Earth and see where the humans are at. There's so much going on at this point in time.
Right, and doing the best we can to explain it in a way with a human filter. It's basically we have these human filters, we're wearing them, and getting the information, receiving the information, and getting it back out there where everyone understands can definitely be challenging because people see things differently so often. But yeah, this is information that we've gotten a little bit more. So it's something that we're watching to see how Apophis unfolds.
So the astronauts, donned their suits, and repairs were carried out, and then they were basically told to stand down. So at the moment, it looks okay, but we'll see. We will see, because again, they had given the order to be ready for possible evacuation. So again, what it just feels like there's energies that are trying to make these prophecies come to pass, but I really feel like our consciousness is the key to the prophecies, and if we put out there an overriding energy that's not one of doom and destruction and fear, recognize what's been planned, recognize what's part of a script, and you got to recognize the problems on Earth. I mean, if you don't recognize that the system needs to be changed completely, it ain't going to get changed unless it's the old squeaky door thing, squeaky wheel. We got to be squeakier, guys.
Yeah, and it's to the point now where the whole thing needs to be removed and completely replaced. It's like Mula Nakshatra, it's the root. You have to pull everything up and out by the root, or it's just not going to work. There's too much there that'll just keep growing in different directions and eventually overwhelm when our guard is down. So things need to completely change. And once again, this probably gets boring to hear, but it absolutely starts with you. Whenever you see something in your life or someone in your life that you don't like, it boils down to you. It's like, okay, how am I pulling this energy in? And in some way, shape, or form, this is what we have. But focusing on you and changing your vibration, changing your frequency, changing your raising your voltage, raising your voltage. And this includes all the boring things that seem like no fun, like eating right, exercising, all the things that really change your frequency are not the funnest things, but they're the most effective things, and they're the fastest way to change. And not to mention where we spend our money and how we put our money out there, making sure it's going to things that are going to assist in this change that we want to see. So we are very, very important to the change that's going to occur.
So then the question arises, what were these people doing breaking into the sewers? And multiple times, different places in New York City. Here you see 7 grown adults go down into the sewers. What the heck are they doing? They're going into the sewers, and they're bringing tools, and they're trying to conceal their identities. What the heck are they doing down there? So let's listen just a moment to this manhole mystery.
A strange late-night mystery in Brooklyn. Video here captures a group of men climbing in and out of the sewer system. And now police are trying to find them and find out why they were underground. Naomi Ruckham is in Flatbush with the story.
Police know that these men went into the sewer system and they know they came out. What they don't know is what happened during the 2 hours in between. CBS News New York has obtained broadcast exclusive video showing what appears to be a group of men gathering around a manhole on McDonald Avenue just before midnight. Some appear to be wearing waders and gloves. Using flashlights as their guide and car lights to light up the area, one by one, all 7 of them descend below ground. Then, just after 2 a.m., another camera captures a remarkable scene. 7 men emerge from the same manhole. After climbing out, they appear to change clothes. A few of them appear to be shirtless on the side of the road. And listen to this. In that video obtained by CBS News New York, you can actually hear the sound of the sewer lid going back on before the group got away. Friday, NYPD investigators returned to the area to look into it, and later, crews from the Department of Environmental Protection lowered what appeared to be a camera with a light into the manhole as they inspected the sewer system for possible damage. Police say there is no apparent link to terrorism, but they are actively working to identify and find the men seen in the video. They could face burglary charges if caught.
And this is not the only one of these. This happened multiple times in a time span. Now, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going off the energy I get. And honestly, I can't tell whether I'm leaning more towards cartels or, you know, is it some sort of sleeper cells? Maybe it's both.
It feels definitely something that's planted to get people more on the side of, you know, you've heard about these flock cameras and, you know, maybe something is going to come up and they're going to say, oh, well, you know, we diffused a huge nuclear bomb or something really huge like that. Or maybe something is going to happen. And I think, you know, however this pans out, some of it is going to go to, oh, thank goodness we have all these cameras and all this surveillance. I mean, that's just par for the course these days. They're always building a case for why they need more surveillance. It's just everything about it. I mean, on all directions, the act itself, something is up. Why would you go into the sewer for that long with that many people? And if these cameras are so great, well, they should be able to pinpoint them, right? I think the government has pretty good cameras. It shouldn't be hard to find them with all the AI. I would think that they'd be able to be found by now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could see they're looking straight at the camera.
Right.
So
why are they not found? I mean,
these are men of military age.
Yeah.
Now, it could be that they're drug runners storing drugs. You know, maybe something like that. Are they having a poker game hiding from their wives? I doubt it. May 5th, security footage showed 3 people wearing hip waders entering a manhole in Queens. Then in the early morning hours of May 29th, another camera captured a group of people exiting a manhole in Brooklyn. The same day, a different group was seen emerging from another Brooklyn manhole, miles away from the first location. Some wore headlamps, some were carrying what appeared to be shovels and flashlights. Are they looking for valuables, jewelry, guns? Did they hear about, some hidden mafia money? I mean, it's all possibilities. But, I mean, nobody really wants to go down there, I mean, that's a nasty, nasty area. It's weird. And then this person, Matt Wallace, says the World Cup's in a couple of days. Repeated sightings of suspicious people coming out of manholes. Majority of the attendees will be staying there. Are they planning something? I mean, is this literally a sabotage? Are they planning on blowing up something? Are they going to blow up water lines? Are they going to disrupt? I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of methane down there. I mean, how much damage can they do underground? Probably quite a lot, if that's what they're after.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different layers going on here, but to me, probably the number one question is why, with all of this technology and tracking technology, why have they not been caught? I think that's such a fair and important question to ask. What's going on? Do they have were they wearing some of those special CIA masks, and do they have fingerprint gloves on so they don't leave their prints? Are their cars not traceable, or are all their phones just track phones? What's going on here?
This takes me back to 1984. 1984, guys, and the movie Chud, Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers. It's a sci-fi horror movie, and, it's, again, the plot follows a photographer and a homeless shelter manager who discover radioactive toxic waste is being dumped into New York City's sewers that has mutated the homeless population into flesh-eating monsters. Literally not surprising coming out of Hollywood. But literally, it just makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder what is going on in the sewers. I don't know. But, people are really wondering, and a lot of people are watching this very, very closely, feeling like it's going to be revealed. And it probably will be very bizarre.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty weird.
Meanwhile, alarming supply chain stress sends transport costs soaring, fueling inflation fears. This perfect economic storm gets lost in the mess, with the focus on the war that's going on, all the problems with all the disease and pestilence. And meanwhile, it's all adding into just basic good cost of living skyrocketing to places where everybody is feeling it. And if you're not feeling it, then you're definitely blessed, because it's gotten ridiculous when it comes to food and energy costs, basic necessity. And, I think, again, we'll see this developing further in the fall. Usually fall is when you have the big economic bumps. I do think our consciousness has made a huge difference in what they've been able to get done. So the more we keep doing our part to spread awareness and force positive change, the better off I think we will become.
Oh, yeah, we will. We will. I think at some point something is going to change, but, we go with the flow as it happens. We just don't go shopping as often. We don't go to the same place that we like to get all the organic stuff as often and eat less. And, it's this, we just adjust as we go. And at some point there is going to be give, but we're all in a place where we have to adjust and reassess and, kind of let go of whatever and make decisions and balance everything. And, yeah, I think that's going to keep on going, but I feel some sort of a break. I feel some kind of a give. Not sure what that's going to be, but it'll happen. It'll occur, because they always create something artificial, right? And then eventually there's something that breaks, something that gives, and things change, things fall away, and a new order comes. So, not saying I'm going to like the new order, but something is up.
And so, in case you missed it, they did also agree, Congress, that is, to send more money to Ukraine to keep that whole thing ongoing. The names released of the 18 House Republicans who voted for sending tax dollars to Ukraine. It's just beyond ridiculous. Again, we need to send pretty much all of them home. Maybe we need to, again, think of a new way of doing things, because the corruption here is beyond fixing. How do we start afresh? That's my question for all you guys out there. And it's so deep. It's at the highest levels, the corruption. This is talking about, it's not about tourism. Acquiring land along the Albanian coastline is merely a cover for a project to control the most critical ports and waterways leading into the heart of Europe. So what's unfolding is an attempt to secure an alternative to Russian gas, establishing a maritime route to transport gas from anywhere in the Middle East through Israel and into Europe. This has to do with Albania and the Kushners. Albania erupting with massive protests It says completely getting out of control. Second consecutive day, angry mass protests against Kushner land seizure worth $4 billion. The Albanian people refuse to become a new Palestine. Palestine, where did that go? It's just rubble now. This is the reality of, again, the cartels that run this planet. Albanian authorities frozen assets linked to Jared Kushner's company, which is attempting to build a private island as part of an ongoing anti-corruption investigation. There's the thing of Ivanka saying, oh, we were swimming on the beach and we just saw how beautiful it was and we had to own it. We had to buy it. And I just think about the mindset of some people that see something beautiful and they want it only for themselves. They don't want other people to partake in it. Like, you're going to have to be a billionaire to go to a certain beach, a certain area. That's just ridiculous. That just shows such a Kali Yuga mindset. That's not a 5D mindset. It's just all about service to themselves. They're only out to, help those that are in their niche, their group, their close circle. And then the average people can't go there. It's not going to be, a beach that is just anybody could go and enjoy. This whole reality has to change. It's reaching the point where it's gone beyond ridiculous, and it needs to be washed away. This whole mindset of the few controlling the many and treating the many as just slaves and servants.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Things definitely need to change, and I do see that we have Miss Trina in the house. Good to see you. We are going to spend some time in prayer and sending energy for a miracle, and it starts with us. It starts with our energy, and we're the ones that create that miracle. And we are sending you all of our love to you and Grace, Trina. So glad to see that you can be in the chat to get some of this energy that we're putting out there. We are sending them out, and she's going to be daily in prayer, daily, as much as we can. So, what a beautiful, beautiful bright light.
Yes, absolutely. So again, thank you guys for sending the healing energy again to Grace. May she be uplifted, and may the doctors be amazed at the spontaneous remission that is to come, and that is our will and our intent. Again, we have to stick up for each other as much as possible, because obviously you're not going to get any real help from any of the governments. All the governments are just self-serving entities. That's just the reality. So we look out for each other, and we pray for each other and send healing energy where we can.
Definitely. We pull together as needed in a time that is very, very difficult, and it's pretty crazy. It's horrible out there. Sending you so much love, and again, we are going to be spending some moments just in quiet prayer at the very end, so please stay for that.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you so much for your support. Have a magical day, and you as well over there in Western North Carolina. Such a blessing.
Thank you so much, Miss Elena.
And researchers identified the South Atlantic fireball as likely an interstellar meteor. We've had so many different fireballs lately. A fireball detected over the South Atlantic Ocean, 213 UTC on April 1st, has emerged as a candidate interstellar meteor following an orbital analysis by Avi Loeb and Richard Clody, who argue that its trajectory is inconsistent with an origin within the solar system. The object, designated Polar IM, is described by Loeb and Clody as the strongest interstellar meteor candidate yet identified in the NASA Center for Near-Earth Object Studies. very high confidence, as you see it, 99.9997%. All the fireballs that we have seen lately, could it be that some of them are coming not from our solar system, another solar system? Could some of them literally be ships, and could some of them literally be potentially an act of aggression?
They could potentially be an act of aggression, but what if a lot of them are not? It does feel like a lot of narratives are being set up to make people very, very afraid. And anything could happen, but I think a mix of things are happening, and I do believe our star family is coming here to meet with us in various ways. So I think we need to keep an open mind and an open heart.
Right now we have 6 comets crossing the inner solar system. Again, how many of these are just icy rocks? How many of them are literally ships? Or are potentially some of these literally weapons? Or potential weapons, depending on findings. I think this is all part of the reveal. When you look back to the Younger Dryas period and what happened there, it was a mass cataclysm on Earth. Something impacted Earth. Actually, many things impacted Earth. The Carolina Bays were made at this point in time, of which there's thousands and thousands of impacts in the Northern Hemisphere. Thousands and thousands of impacts. When you look at the Sumerian tablets, it's really judgment of the Anunnaki is what it is. When we look to the Ramayana, which I think does date back to the time period just before the Younger Dryas extinction event, what's going on? It's the wars between the Devas and the Asuras. And one of those wars claimed over 1 billion lives here on planet Earth, at a time when they'll tell you there was only maybe 20 or 30 million people here. No. Again, our history is written from the point of the victors. Who were the victors? The victors were the Asuras. Those were the demonic entities with advanced technologies that came and literally forcefully took over our system, our planetary system. They forced the benevolent ETs away, and they gave us the money matrix that we have in place, the political matrix, and they even gave us our religions, etc., etc. Yeah, they took everything that we knew and they twisted and distorted it. But here you go. This rare orbital snapshot from June 5th, 2026 shows a crowded comet scene around the inner solar system. 3i Atlas, C2025 R2 Swan, C2025 R3 Pan-STARRS, 10P Temple 2, 88P Howell, and 220P McNaught. It's not an impact warning. It's something more scientifically interesting. 6, they say, icy bodies from different origins moving through the same area at the same time. You see, they're coming in from different directions. Could they literally represent several different civilizations watching what's happening on Earth?
Well, I think we need to keep our minds and hearts open to the possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, instinctively, that's what I feel. I feel there's many groups here that are watching. Some of them are malevolent, some are benevolent, and perhaps most are in the middle. They have not picked a side, and they're just simply watching, looking, curious. Will humans figure out what's happening to them? Will they literally figure out what's happening to them? Will they be able to stop another reset? Because I do think that is the bigger question. Can we stop another reset? Don't you find it interesting how when you look at the way solar systems are, the planets are all lined up in an elliptic. And, they do their rotating around their suns. It's really, really fascinating that when you get objects that come in, like if we look at Third Eye Atlas here, right? It's not in alignment with the elliptic. It's coming in from a totally different angle. and then it takes a new position that's more in line with the elliptic. I mean, it just reeks intelligent guidance.
I believe so too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is an amazing time. Will we look up someday and see something like this? Hey, wait a minute. It's the Truman Show. They're going to show themselves now. The director, the producer is going to come out of the human story and let themselves be known. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, a tear in the fabric of space-time. Is that what it looks like?
Yeah, a crack in the dome. It's fascinating, too, because the dome is acknowledged. Some sort of dome is acknowledged in many different traditions. And it is interesting that it appears we live in a holographic universe. Well, I thank you, Peter. We've missed you. And just a small gift from Uncle Peter. Healthy snacks for the Council of Nine. Yes, their favorite is those little fly larvae. They just adore those.
Thank you so much, Peter. Yes, they will get more of that.
Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate all you guys. It really makes you wonder. We know there's things that are just not right. They're just not accurate. They just don't make sense when you get the science, and the science does not make sense. I think it's indicating that science is wrong. And so many things are going to be unveiled to us. And right now, we're in that period. This is what's so exciting. It's the big reveal. It is the apocalypse. All is going to be revealed. Earth's Truman Show will be exposed, finally.
It will, just keep watching and keep doing your part. And your part is to spend time healing yourself to make you the strongest frequency out there that's what we need. We need the frequency to change, and that starts with us, period.
So again, share the love, share the affection, let people know how much you care about them. That was something that hit me so many years ago. My dad was not really a huggy guy, but I would hug him and kind of force him to give me a hug. And he would. He was a warm-hearted guy, but he wasn't brought up in a family that outwardly showed their emotions and their affection. I think, again, it's time for us to right so many wrongs and to go the extra step, do the random acts of kindness. Let's start spinning everything in a positive direction. I think it can go completely out of control in a good way.
I know, if certain things can go one direction, they can definitely go another.
Yes, and thank you guys so much for all your love and support. Yeah, as Robbie says, if your mom or your dad is still around, tell her how much you love them. Absolutely. And share your love with your pets. They're definitely going to share it with you. We tell them all how much we love them every day. And it does nothing but lift yourself up. That's really the key out of here. And all the texts talk about that too. The more we can build in the frequency of compassion and love and compassion and empathy, then we can really shift this paradigm. And I do think it's happening faster than the control system can handle. But let's speed it up even more.
I agree.
Cindy's going to give us some dings, and I'm going to say Loka Samasta Suki no Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may my own acts, words, and deeds contribute to that happiness and freedom. Please do go subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to Heart's Own. It's a place where there's none of the darkness of everything we see transpiring in the news. There's a lot of, spirituality here. And channeled messages are here, a different take on Yeshua. We have mantras here, playlists. We have biofield tuning and light code activations. You need a little upliftment? Come over here, take a look, and just even have it playing in the background because it will benefit you. And same thing with the healing music, which I am going to be adding new videos to over there. And when I do ambient guitar on this, then Cindy puts her tuning forks to use, and we also infuse that with some healing frequencies from the forks.
So I'm going to be doing some dings on the tuning forks, and I want us all to really focus on Trina and Grace and creating that energetic space where Grace's body and mind can heal. So we're going to be here for a couple minutes. You will hear the dings, but you're also going to hear some silence, and it's in that silence that I want us really to all focus on those who need prayer, Trina and Grace, and also Carrie and Lori and Steve. Here we go. This is going to last a few minutes, so here. So a couple minutes of focused silence on the entire situation, prayers for everyone.
Thank you guys so much for all the positivity, the healing prayers, and just being you. And we look forward to seeing you guys again sometime tomorrow. Hopefully we'll try to get on and do a live again, or if not, we will definitely have a video up for you guys. Much love, much blessings, and gratitude. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.